I've been asked to speak to you a little bit about, I think, principally housing issues. And we may, in the course of my remarks and our discussion, talk a little bit about how that relates to economic development and the robustness of the economy generally, and also how it relates to transportation. But I'm going to start off just talking about housing and explaining a little bit about the situation we're in here in the Bay State, particularly the eastern half of the Bay State, where the housing market is very different from what it's like out west. And then talk a little bit about some of the implications for Salem specifically, or for the Salem area. And I'm going to start by giving you three numbers. A little bit cheating, it's really four numbers, but it's three numbers. The first one is 1 million. I'd like you to remember these if you can. You don't have to write them down, please, but remember them, and I'll come back and try and link them together. The first is just a simple one. It's 1 million. The second is 435,000. And the third, or the third and the fourth, is, what do we say, 41/23. I'm going to try and explain how those things relate to one another. So I'm a baby boomer, which I think generally speaking means you were born between 1945 and 1960. Without trying to position people too much, can I ask how many people in the room would consider themselves to be part of this particular class? Okay. Between now and 2030, 1 million of us are going to retire, just like my former boss. 1 million of us. We're only like 7 million people in the state, something like that at this point in time. 1 million workers in that age group are going to retire. We do not have the younger workers in the next or the following generation to fill those jobs. Never mind all the jobs we want to create to improve and strengthen the economy in Massachusetts. It's not an issue of a skills difference, like, well, we would have them, but they're not quite trained right. It's not a question of, well, we have a lot of them in this profession or in this trade area that are defined by the Department of Commerce, but not in the other area where we need. It's none of that. It's that we just don't physically have them. They don't live here. We don't have enough people. And one of the greatest challenges we have in encouraging people to move to Massachusetts, or encouraging them to stay in Massachusetts when hundreds of thousands of them every year are here for college, and we don't expect all of them to stay, but we'd like some of them to stay, is the high cost of living in the Bay State. And by far, by leaps and bounds, the biggest factor in the high cost of living in Massachusetts is, it's not transportation, which is number two. It's not the cost of electricity, which gets mentioned very frequently, or the cost of energy. It's not taxes. Taxes actually way down on the list. The biggest issue is the cost of renting or owning a home. And it's not just that sales prices are high, it's also not just that rents are high, it's that both are high. Most people don't realize that during the Great Recession, which lasted for 3 or 4 years, although there are many people who feel that we're not completely out of it even now, but on the books lasted 3 or 4 years, rents in the greater Boston region went down in the first year of the Great Recession. By the time we hit 2009 or 2010, I'm not sure which one it was, rents were going up again. So our housing supply is extremely, good morning, ma'am. Our housing supply is extremely constrained, and it has a direct impact on our economy.